She's a little bit wild, little sad, I smile. Gold hoops in my t-shirt, still turn levy at a mob world. Yeah, she's talking fast, hands fly. Got a temper, got pride. She'll call me out right there in the car and kiss me like a movie star. City got mood, she's like that. Storm in her eyes and she's on my lap. Tell me stop staring. I can't.
Girly girl, that's my girly girl.
She be doing the most, I'm addicted to her. From her curls down to her curves. It's my girlie, my whole wide world. If love is a word, she's the meaning of hers. That's my girlie, girlie girl. She'll be late to the plans, still I reach for her hand. Got a lipstick on my collar, my face. Then she fussing and laughing same day. She talk love like a fight, every wrong, every right. When she's soft, man, I swear I can't breathe. When she's mad, I ain't trying to leave. Every got moves and she swear she be driving me crazy. And back till we stop playing. I can't. Girly,
I swear, girly girl.
she be doing the most, I'm addicted to her. From her curls down to her curves. Yeah, it's my girlie girl, my whole wide world. If love is a word, she's the meaning I heard. That's my
Girly girl.
she black girl crazy, I love it. Got that fire, I run to it. Messy attitude with the softest heart. All that drama still my favorite part. You be holding her eyes, but she holds me tight. Seeing everything wrong, still it hit just right. If I ever got a face when the lights go dark. Yes, her, yes, her, yes, her. She be doing the most, I'm addicted to her. From her curls down to her curves. Yeah, that's my girlie girl. Whose love is words is the meaning I heard. My girlie girl, first, my last, my word. She wide, she real, she sure. That's my steady girlie, girlie girl.
What up, YouTube? It's your girl DeeDee back at it. I hope you guys are doing well. Shout out to everybody in the building, everybody watching, everybody who supports the channel. I appreciate you guys. Listen, happy Saturday, y'all. I can't believe I'm back up here. Oh my God. Back at it, y'all, on a Saturday. So listen, as you come into the building, make sure you hit the like button. Hit the like button, y'all, as you come into the building. Listen, also put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me good. 1 in the chat if you can hear me good. All right. Listen, I'm not gonna keep y'all too long today, but there's a couple of videos I want to address or talk about or react to, and I want to get your thoughts on it. So that's why I wanted to hop back up here just to share these videos on YouTube, you guys, before I forget, because I'll forget. But I want to talk about these particular videos because it sheds a major light on everything that we've been talking about, everything that Kevin Samuel spoke about, and everything that everybody is talking about in 2026. So we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it. Y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you guys are supporting the channel in any way possible. By hitting the like button. It is free to like. So go ahead and hit that like button because it definitely helps the channel out. Share the video, stream, all that good stuff. And also turn on your notification bell so you'll be notified when I go live or post new content. And make sure you are supporting via Super Chat or Cash App, you guys. That definitely helps to support the channel in a major way. All right. So you guys see the title. Kevin Samuels was right all along. The wall is undefeated and modern women are starting to realize it.
Oh my God.
So this is going to point me towards a couple of videos that have been circling on social media, and I haven't had a chance to get to them. So I'm gonna get to them in this particular live, and I definitely want y'all to chime in. Salute, Dee Dee. Thank you, Jamil. Shout out to you, and thank you so much for the support and being here once again. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for the super chat. So we gonna hop into it. We're gonna get into it. As you come into the building, make sure you hit the like button, hit the like button, y'all. So the first video I want to bring to your attention. What's going on, Pharaoh? Pharaoh, hey Pharaoh, how are you? Good to see you, bro. Hope all is well with you. Hope you're doing fine. The first video I want to get into, and this is one that I recently came across of Ari Lennox. So Ari Lennox said something in this interview that that rings true for so many women, but a lot of them aren't ready to acknowledge it. A lot of them are not ready to be accountable and tell the truth. So I thought it was interesting hearing her say this, but not surprised, because we know that this is what a lot of women are facing, but they're in denial about it. And this may not be every woman's situation, but it is a lot. And we see it because they're complaining about it. So I want to pull up a little bit from what she had to say, and I definitely want to hear your thoughts on it. So make sure you chime in the chat. Let's get into what Ari Lennox said, y'all. Here we go.
I think I have a thing for toxic energy. So I think there's still some more healing that I need to do, because when I look back on all of these energies, it's a shame I gave them so much time and there were sweet energies that I didn't. Yeah. And so now I see those sweet energies getting married and starting families. I'm just like, dang, that probably could have been me if I recognized the security in those individuals at the time. And like now I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely feeling that now. I'm aware that there's something going on. There's something wrong.
What do you think it is that attracts you to like toxic energy?
I think they just seem really exciting at first. The chemistry is incredible. And they don't even always be fine. It's not even that like they're sexy or something. I mean, well, they're sexy, but they don't be the finest things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's just an energy. Sometimes it's convenience, what we talk about. A lot of the sweeter energies that I felt like weren't for me. I could see myself falling asleep a little bit on the phone. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that's like, if boring is good or not. Like, I'm trying to figure out what that means. Like,
it's the thrill.
Yeah.
It's the thrill of it.
Yeah.
What's
absolutely.
your sign?
Now, the lady who's interviewing her was like, it's the thrill. It's the thrill. You know, and this is what we talk about all the time. This is what we talk about all the time, how a lot of these women want to go for the guys who have swag or whatever, the energy that they like. And to be honest with you, a lot of the energy that these women say they like is really dudes who don't really give a shit. It's really the dudes who have this type of energy that they don't really care. Like, they want you to chase them. They have this kind of nonchalant attitude, but the women are attracted to that. And like one thing Ari Lennox said is that they weren't all that attractive. It's just, it was the vibe, it's what they say now. If back then it was swag, but now it's the vibe. We got to be able to vibe. We got to have he got to have certain qualities that women are attracted to. But the thing I think they're missing, and they're slowly starting to figure out, or trying to at least acknowledge is what she's doing, that there is an issue in the way women pick men. And this is why men say it all the time. Women pick the wrong guys. Y'all pick wrong. And it's the truth. And now they're slowly starting to break it down, because they're getting older. And they're realizing, like she said, those guys that she called, that had the sweeter energy, the guys who were probably nicer guys who may have been interested in her for the right reasons, they were considered boring to her. They didn't probably have the swag. They weren't, pushing things. They were being respectful. A lot of them being, just a respectable man. They weren't trying to be aggressive and force anything on you, trying to get into your drawers and all of that. They were probably just decent guys. And usually those guys, might appear to be boring to these women, because he doesn't have an agenda to try to, swindle you or take advantage of you. And so somehow, in the minds of a lot of women, they don't pick up on that. They don't pick up on that until it's too late. They don't realize what's going on, even though they're the most educated out here. They don't understand a lot of game that these men are running, and they don't care to, because once again, when women are attracted to a certain guy, a certain swag, a certain look or whatever, that's all they see. And that's because that's what they like and that's what they're attracted to. They don't see anything else. They don't see anything else. And, and this is why they complain about getting their feelings hurt when they've given their all to these particular guys, not realizing that those guys weren't with you for the right reasons. They were there for a short time, not a long time, but for a good time. They were there to have a good time with you and then keep it moving. And you get your feelings involved with these guys because that's your type. And then it never works out. And then by the time they're hitting 30, 40 and older, they're wondering where the good guys at. Why can't I find a man at this point? Why I can't have a family? I thought eventually once I'm done playing around that I'll be able to get a man and start a family and we live happily ever after. But they're realizing it doesn't work like that. This is not a fairy tale. It's not a movie. It's real life. And so this is the wall that Kevin Samuels talked about. Hitting the wall. People made fun of that. They didn't like it. They didn't like what he was saying, but it's true. And we see it all crumbling down. We see it all just exposed for what it is. And it's not a real slight to anybody, but it's just the reality that a lot of women don't want to face. Listen, the wall is undefeated, baby. It is.
Oh my God.
And we're seeing it happen in real time. A lot of these women they hate to accept that they made a mistake. They hate to accept that they didn't go about this thing the right way for whatever reason. Maybe they just didn't know, because there are a lot of women who just don't know, just like men don't know, just like we all don't know some things. So I understand that we weren't given a rule book of how to make relationships work and what we should do, and, a collective guide of how to create a stable relationship and what you should be doing for a husband and a man and how do you build it. We didn't have no guidebooks for that. So we had to learn as we went. But a lot of people have gotten their information from the wrong folks. And you've gotten information that is keeping you stagnant, that is not benefiting you, and is not creating it's not conducive to creating healthy, stable relationships with and building families and having longevity with said families. This is why everybody's so messed up. This is why relationships fail all the time, because we all are trying to figure it out. But women have allowed other women and society and all these societal norms and all this stuff to guide them and tell them what is best, even though it's not working for them. And a lot of them are stuck there because they're not realizing, hey, if you're doing something, if you've been doing it for 15 years and it's not working, then you need to change what you're doing. You need to pivot. You got to understand what that means, that you don't keep doing the same thing and not getting the result and you keep doing it. You have to understand how to try something new. But a lot of them are stuck in this mentality. They're stuck in their ways. They're stuck in what they believe, and they're going to manifest it no matter what you say. And when they're 50 and 60, they still have a warped sense of reality, because you got 50, 60-year-old women saying, I want a man to take me shopping. Could you take me shopping? I need a man who understands who and what I am. Girl, ain't no man in his right mind who's established and put together is going to be worried about you at 60 years old taking you shopping. And he don't have to understand who and what you are. He can see who and what you are. Because God knows these women had enough time to portray themselves in such a way, and they're standing on it. And so everybody can see you from a mile away, who of who and what you are. And this is why they want no parts of it. So it's not a surprise. You've already exposed your hand. We know what y'all want. Y'all want sponsors. You want somebody to take care of you. At your big age, you want somebody to take care of you. And that's it. So it goes to show you that a lot of these older women have not learned from their mistakes. And this is why Kevin Samuels said it, you're going to end up being by yourself until the end. Because you haven't learned and you're still holding out. You're still holding out for Mr. Right to come in and be a big simp at your big age. And you've missed it. That ship has sailed. If you didn't get it when you were younger and that's your most attractive, it ain't going to happen now. Unless you understand your part and what that man's part, that he's not going to settle, and you're going to have to be the one to acknowledge that, you know what, I'm just going to have to get me somebody. unless you're gonna have to be the one to settle for whatever you can get. And if you don't want to do that, well, they end up, by themselves till the end. So once again, the wall is undefeated. I don't know if people, if you like it or not, but it is what it is. We see it happening. We see a lot of these women kind of coming to the terms that this is what it's going to be, and there's nothing you can do about it. And you wasted a lot of your years, and you can't get that time back. You can't get it back, right? So you got to just go with the flow and accept it for what it is. But let's move on to the next video. Now, in this particular video, this one is of Melissa Ford. So Melissa Ford, she did an interview with Shan Boodram, right? The sexologist. I think that's what she does. And this was an interesting conversation. I kind of sped it up a little bit, but you can still hear what she's saying. But I want to get into this, and this is another one that we're realizing now, who's probably about 50 years old at this point, no husband, no children, and that ship has sailed. This also is another example of the wall being undefeated. But I think they're finally coming to terms with it, but they don't like it, of course. But let's go ahead and get into this clip. Here we go.
Somebody like me who's never been married and is child free. What are you gonna do? Like, it might not happen for me in this lifetime. I went out one night with my girlfriends for, another appearance, and I had a very, 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 very tight ponytail. And I wanted to keep the ponytail, but by the end of the night, there was no way. And so my girlfriend, she sat me down on the floor. She sat like this and starts taking the ponytail out of my hair. And then as soon as all the ponytail hair was out of my hair, without even asking, she started to massage my scalp. I remember what that felt like. It was just like all the good drugs, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, flooding my whole brain and face and skin. And it also made me understand or led me to the thoughts that I don't know if I've really had an intimate relationship with a man in my entire life.
Would you say that, like, I don't know much about your background. You talked to me a little bit about the home that you grew up in and walking up those steps in the part of Toronto that you were in, but we are all materialistic and we live in a capitalist society. But would you say that you identified with being materialistic?
I mean, I think that there was a point in time where, money started to come in. So now I could afford things that I'd never even dreamed of affording before. And then also,
now, before we continue, I want to quickly, before I forget, talk about something she said. She said she never had an intimate moment with a man in her entire life. Oh my God. That says a lot. That says that, and us knowing her history, video vixen, all these different guys, and she's never had an intimate moment with a man, meaning she's never had a real loving, intimate moment with a man who really, really cares about her. That's what she's saying. When you've been ran through like that and you've just been around all these men who only objectify your body and only see you as some coochie, that's what happens. And you can't dare tell me that all of that experience with those types of men and you putting yourself out there, that you can't tell me that doesn't have some type of mental effect on you whatsoever. I just don't believe it. I think it has a lot to do with your mental stability. I think a lot of women have to process the fact that you've never, if for her to say she's never had an intimate moment with the man, meaning she mean loving intimate moment. Like, yeah, you've had a lot of sexual moments, I'm sure, with guys who just using you for the time being. But other than that, they discard you like a wet paper towel. They don't see you as anything of an importance. Because they know you're for the streets. If they know that you for everybody and everybody is getting the same thing that they're getting, why would any man take you seriously? Why would he look at you as some importance? He's not looking at you for something that he wants to cherish and wants to build with and take care of and provide and all this and raise a family with. No, he sees you for what it is. You're just a tool. You're just a sexual object that is there for his pleasure whenever he needs it. And I mean, if he has money, hey, the money ain't a thing. Money is not an issue. He can give you money. He can give you all the materialistic things because it's nothing to him. But he's getting the ultimate thing from you that you can't ever get back. And then you're going to be left holding the bag years later. Because I guarantee you, a lot of those men who were there for her, doing that with her, then a lot of them have gotten married. They have kids. If you look at a lot of the successful men, the majority of them either are married and they definitely have kids. But the women who are the play toys on the side, look, y'all, 50 years old, no children, no family, no stability whatsoever. And then you become conditioned to that type of lifestyle or that way. You don't even know how, you know what I mean? You're not in a right mind to even to think about being somebody's wife or being a mother, because you're not in that mental capacity. You're used to being ran through. You're used to being the sexual objection for men. The very thing a lot of people complain about. So, to see a lot of these women in their big ages now reflect, I mean, it's good that you're reflecting on it, but now at some point they're going to break down because they realize, damn it, what's really important, the things that are really important are the things that I missed. Now ain't nobody checking for you to be with you for real. They still see you as this sexual objective that they can, if they wanted to holler at you, they thinking about, damn, I didn't get you back in the day, but ooh, let's see if I can get you now. Not get you to take you seriously, but to get you to run through you like everybody else did. They missed the opportunity, and now there are some might still who want a chance. Some men might still want a chance, and that's it, because they know what. And this is where I say your past does not escape you. You cannot ignore it, and men won't. And when you put yourself out there in a public eye, and everybody knows your business, you can't run from it. You can't run from it, which makes it even harder for you to find a man who's going to take you seriously and want to have a life with you, because they can't ignore your past and what you did, because everybody else knows about it. So this is why I think women put themselves in these situations and they don't realize the repercussions of it until years later. Jamil, thank you for the super chat. Says, come on out the closet, Melissa, child. And listen, Jamil, thank you for the super chat. That's always the next alternative. Oh, now you found love in another woman. You can't get the man, so the next option is another chick. And we know how those don't work out either. Thank you, Jamil. I appreciate you for the super chat. Mr. Original 33109, thank you for the super chat. Says, congratulations. She's a professional side piece. She can thank herself for that. Exactly. Oh my God. And the thing about it, I don't know if they're proud of it or not. It depends. Sometimes they seem proud about it, boasting about it. And then on the other hand, when they reflect on it, they realize what they've lost and what they've missed out on. And then they seem kind of sad. Because in this particular video, she seems kind of sad about it in a sense. It's like, damn, you with all your life being a side piece, a hoe to some, and this is now you're on the flip side of it. All you got for it is to say, oh, we're getting to the bag and we're making money, and you don't seem fulfilled. Still, a lot of these women still want companionship. They still will love a family, a man that loves them, but it's hard for them to get that because men know what you've been about. You know what I mean? Thank you, Mr. Original. I appreciate you. Let's continue.
I dated men of means, so I started flying by PJ and staying in, wonderful hotels and incredible suites and traveling the world. And, literally just, I literally had a guy, it wasn't even a first date. It literally was a first hang, spend $100,000 on me. I had somebody else present me with like $150,000 necklace. This is the initial presentation.
Wow.
I'm like, that's crazy, but I'll take it. I looked at that necklace. I was like, that is a down payment on a house. Let me hold on to that sucker. But it just rings so hollow, because then you'll see those same guys do that for other girls, kind of thing. It's just men's with means. That's nothing to them. So it's not intimacy. It's not even because they really like you. It's just very transactional. This business, this industry is extraordinarily transactional. So yeah.
So what else? Yeah, it makes sense of being of that culture. You don't get to actually feel and experience what intimacy genuinely is.
No.
And I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, Ray Charles could see that. Like, there are some people who just don't get it, but then again, I don't think they want to get it. And this is why I think it's a disservice to women when they talk about their careers, because clearly Melissa Ford, beautiful woman, you know what I'm saying? And she put herself out there for her career. She was a video vixen. I remember her, seeing videos and seeing her in it all across or whatever. And even then, when I saw a lot of those video videos, the Corinne Steffens lady and all of them, I didn't look at it as something to be proud of then. I didn't see it. I'm like, wow. It wasn't something that I looked at and thought, oh my God, oh, they're doing their thing. Oh, they're building their careers. I didn't see it like that. I saw it as you're degrading yourself. I've seen documentaries of celebrities just talk really disrespectfully to a lot of these women, like, and in that environment, a lot of them are disrespected. A lot of them are not treated nicely. and then you're out here shaking your ass all over the place, and you're just end up sleeping with these guys or whatever, thinking this is to be in the next video, or to, you know, feel like you're building your portfolio up and building your career up, and then just to see them years later become spinsters. You know what I mean? Just become, it's a waste in a sense. And yeah, you can take care of yourself at this point, but okay, a lot of people can take care of themselves. My question would be, how do you really feel about your position now? Are you happy with where you are based on where you came from and what you had to go through? Do you think that it's worth it to now be a older, would be considered almost an elderly woman with no family, nothing to show for all your hard work? You don't have a husband, you don't have have children, you don't have no stability when it comes to a family. And I think once again, people try to minimize the family aspect as if it's nothing, as if it's, you know, nothing, but it is everything. In my opinion, it is everything. I don't care how accomplished you are financially. If you are all alone and you have nobody to really share that with, then that becomes miserable. When we look at our kids, we look at what we've accomplished over the years from where we've come from, struggling, starting off, you know, for a lot of people, you know, working hard, starting small, and then you work your way up, and you know, it's like you get married, you start in an apartment, just say if that's the case, and you see your kids, they're little, you watch them grow, you watch your family grow and blossom, you see your beginnings where you started, you guys were struggling, and then you working hard, you know, you watch your husband go from this job to that job, and he get a raise and he increase, or he starts a business. You guys are working together, building things up, and then when you get to a better place, you look back, you look at the pictures, you look at the moments that you've captured, and you say, dang, look where we came from. Damn, we remember when we didn't have this. Remember when we were struggling here. Remember that. And then this happened, and then we end up, and we got this, and then this happened, and look where we are now, and we're so blessed. The kids are healthy, they're thriving. You know what I mean? That is, and then as you get older, your children get older, they get married, they start to build their families, and if you're blessed enough to be here to see that. That is it, in my opinion. That is life. That is the life to have. I don't give a damn what nobody say, because that's where your happiness lies. It doesn't lie in you sitting around capturing your history of you being a 304, busting it open for niggas who don't care about you. And now you're 50 years old and you can say, oh, I'm financially stable. Who gives a shit? That is not the most important. You have nothing to show for all your so-called hard work. But everybody knows your name, but they know your name is synonymous with hoe behavior. Oh my God. Your name is synonymous with being a hoe, laying on your back, giving your body to dudes who could care less about you. And that can't be something to be proud of. I certainly wouldn't look at it as something to be proud of. And then you have nothing to show. You didn't at some point was able to find a man to build a life with and have a family that you can now sit back and say, I have a family. I'm proud of my family. I love my family. You know, we got family. Family is everything, but they don't see that. And I think they recognize it now when you're lonely and you sitting back. I'm pretty sure they reflect on that. I'm pretty sure there's some serious tears happening at moments when you really, really accept it for what it is and stop being delusional. And letting society tell you, oh, that ain't nothing. Oh my God, you don't need a man. Your children don't need a father. You don't need no kids. You don't need nothing. No, you especially. Anyway, so that's my thoughts on it. And I don't think that a lot of these women are happy. That's why they're talking about it. Jamil, once again, thank you for the super chat. Says reminds me of Claudia Jordan. Jamie Foxx tried to warn her. Claudia Jordan is another one. You know, beautiful woman. You know, I remember her back in the day, beautiful, and now they're all struggling. Thank you, Jamil. I appreciate it. They're all struggling. And they say, oh, I never thought about a family and all that. But when you start seeing just the same way, this the other lady is saying, what's it, Ari Lennox, look, now you see those guys that you passed up, that you thought were boring, they're getting married, they're building families, and you're looking at that like, dang, that could have been me. I really want that. Most women want that. But you sit around and you waste your time thinking that something is always better, or you know, and you miss out on those opportunities, and now you got to sit back and just watch everybody else grow in that way. I've never seen a woman who's been proposed to look sad. For the most part, most women I've seen who've been proposed to and they're in long-term relationships with their boyfriends, they are ecstatic when he asks them to marry them. They're happy because ultimately most women want marriage. Most women want most people want companionship. But it's interesting how women complain about stuff, but they complain, but then you end up wanting the very same thing that you say that you don't want, and that's not needed. You end up wanting it. But that is interesting. Thank you, Jamil. I appreciate you. Prince Zamunda 5204 says a token of support and encouragement. Hope it helps Ms. Dee. Keep making the content. The film Nazis, okay, will come for you, but keep putting in work. You're on the right side of history. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you, and I appreciate your support and for being here. Thank you. Yeah, it's crazy though. Yeah, it's very interesting to see it all play out. And once again, this goes back to what Kevin Samuels was saying a long time ago, before he passed, and we're starting to see it happening. And it's just unfortunate because I would love to see people have what they want, but they did get what they wanted. You chose your lifestyle, you chose what you wanted, and you wasn't thinking about the future. And then now the future is now, and now they're reflecting, and it doesn't look too good. Let's continue. Hit the like button, y'all. Make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Let's continue.
Do you know how intoxicating it is to have the world cheering for your relationship while you're still in the honeymoon phase? You feel literally drunk in love. That's what it feels like.
Who did you experience that with?
I don't want to admit it. Oh, okay. The first person that I experienced that with, his name is O.C. Uminora. He was a defensive end for the Giants, 2-time Super Bowl champion, future Hall of Famer. Yeah, that's the first person. I hesitate to use the word soulmate, but boy, did we make sense to each other. Boy, could we read each other's, both Scorpios. We could read each other's minds. I predicted his whole life, his Super Bowl wins, everything. We were so simple. We were really simple people, just really, really visible and famous.
But how could you predict somebody else's life and not your own?
Oh my God.
And another thing too, before we continue, I find it very interesting that you could find a man that you would think is sort of like your soulmate, but y'all end up breaking up. You find somebody that you think is good and y'all don't make that work. And then you go years and years and years without ever establishing stable relationships and building something with somebody that's important. And you just still end up by yourself after all those years. That's gotta be, I don't know. I would feel somewhat sick. I would feel a little unaccomplished. You know what I mean? Especially if I knew that's something I wanted at some point, and I didn't get it, I would feel a little funny about it. But once again, was this ever a thought? Because she did mention before that she didn't. I think she said before she didn't want kids or something like that. But but even though even though you say that, eventually you look around, you're like, damn, I would love to see a little person that looks like me. I would love to see somebody, that I could raise and teach certain things and share parts of me. Who wouldn't? I mean, look, there are people who clearly don't want kids and don't want to be married. I get it. But the majority of women do, because that's what we're part of why we're here and what we're designed for, And so I just, it is what it is. Let's continue.
Our favorite thing to do was to eat ribs in bed and binge watch TV. You know what I mean?
First of all, gross. Second of all, cute.
I mean, I love ribs. But, that was our famous. We'd go to the local movie theater. We were really, really, really regular. But it was short lived. The intoxicating nature of everybody cheering for us. Because then the jealousy of others set in, and then locker room talk and whatnot, and that had just a catastrophic effect on us. He was so young. I was young. He was younger. I was 30. He was 25. So, yeah. And so the second...
Yeah, but locker room talk, why? Because that's everybody else telling him about you. That's probably everybody else telling him, man, don't do it. Don't do it.
Oh my God.
Man, you know who that is. You know what I'm saying? That's the locker room talk. Man, who she done been with. This, telling them, don't do it. That's not what you want. And so, yeah, they probably got in his ear and made him realize that this might not be a good fit for what you're looking for. And if he probably really liked her, but he had to move on because they're telling him, man, this ain't, And see, this is the problem when it comes to women and how, them being promiscuous or putting themselves out there, because they don't trust you. Because typically men hell, I believe too that if you've been out here and you for the streets, it might be difficult for you to just be content with one man. You could do it for a while and it sounds good and y'all having a good time. And then eventually you're going to get bored and you're going to get tired and you're going to be itching for them streets. And then you're going to want to go out and do what you've known to do. And you're going to want that attention from all these other men because you've gotten it before. Attention is a drug for women. They need it. Once you've gotten it, you constantly need it. You're constantly looking for it. You're constantly yearning for it. And so you constantly need validation from men. You need the attention from men. You need men to tell you, you're beautiful all the time. And that's intoxicating for women. It boosts their ego. So if you're with one guy, he can't be all these other men. He only can be who he is. So he can only, love on you and show you so much love. And then he got to go to work. He can't sit there and just tell you this over and over and over to keep validating you. So the moment these women feel like they're not getting what they feel they deserve from the man, this is why they up and leave. Like they think they need more because you're used to that validation 24/7 by a bunch of different men. And that one man is not going to be able to validate you enough because he's only one man and he's already solidified his love for you by being with you. So, but sometimes that's when you hear women say love isn't enough. Yeah, because you're looking for something that is unrealistic. You're looking for something that does not exist. One man can't be Superman. He can't be Jesus. He's just a man. And if he loves you and he's committed to you and he's there for you, that ought to be enough. He's not perfect. He might make mistakes just like you do. But these women are looking, you go through your whole phase and do everything that you want to do as a young, attractive woman. But then when you want to settle down, you want the man to be perfect. You want him to, not acknowledge your past. And maybe he doesn't. Not acknowledge that you've made some major mistakes in your past and in your life. But if he makes one mistake, oh my God, it's cancel Christmas. You're not validating me and you're not what I need. I need more. And then you walk away from that one and then you can't find another loyal man who really wants to be with you. He's just there to hit it and quit it and keep it moving. And you think that that's okay until it's not. So this is why I always say, hey, women are the ones who got to make the most changes if you're trying to really establish something for real in life with men. Jamil 843, once again, thank you for the super chat, says she won't tell the truth about what happened with Flo Rida, so she's still fake as hell. What happened with Flo Rida? I don't know, Jamil. Tell me. But I believe you. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. What happened with him? Let's continue though.
Time something like that happened was Flow Rider. And that's all I'll say on that.
I said it's fine. He took the permission. I said the phone
You have
rings.
no idea. Like I literally
No, it's PR. No, it's Flo Rida's like PR person who's like, zip it up. You signed the agreement. Stop talking.
Yeah, that was, yeah. There's pictures. I was gonna say, firstly, there's pictures that you could Google, so you'll see who that was. But primarily, I would hide whoever I was dating for the main reason that I didn't want to be recognized for being anybody's girlfriends. Mm-hmm. The reasons why I wanted to be judged by my own career, my own merits, my own accomplishments. I didn't want there to be anything said like, oh, well, she's just because she dated so-and-so. No. And when I say that I dated people who were like height of fame and no one knew because I pressured them to keep it very quiet.
But in the moments when it got leaked and you were receiving that fanfare and there was this excitement and you become basically the prince and princess of the town.
You feel like you need to keep up appearances, but it's falling apart, especially if one person is falling out of love with the other at a faster rate.
So Jamil says she cheated on him and stole from him. So she cheated on him and stole from him. Child, baby, what did I just say? What did I just say before all of this? That when you've been out that life, you need attention and you can't just be with one man because you're used to attention from other men and that leads to you sleeping with other men. Like, I'm not surprised. Thank you, Jamil. I appreciate you. We're going to say allegedly though, because you know what I mean? You got it because, they'd be watching. They flagged my video before when I talked about her. So we got to say allegedly, but I hear what you're saying. But I'm not surprised. Not one bit. Thank you, Jamil. I appreciate you once again. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button, you guys. Make sure you are supporting via Super Chat or Cash App, y'all. That helps the stream and helps the channel. But that's crazy. But that's what I'm saying. When they talk about that para bonding situation where women are out with all these men, it's hard to para bond with one. Yeah, it's a real thing. You're used to multiple, slinging it all over the place. So one is not going to be enough. And a lot of these women aren't very in tune with themselves. They're not really in tune with their own bodies. They don't even be knowing a lot of the stuff. What I found out too, a lot of women always like to make it seem like men are so oblivious and they don't know nothing. But honestly speaking, I think I've seen it and I'm convinced that a lot of men have more sense and understanding than majority of these damn women. You want women to be, all on the same page and pushing this narrative that all these women are so educated. A lot of these women are so oblivious, and you would think that they would know the simplest things, and a lot of them do not. But guess who do? A lot of the men. A lot of the men seem to be very smart and smarter than a lot of these women. And even though they like to say, oh, these men don't go to college. Well, I mean, y'all go to college and y'all still be dumb. You still don't be knowing basic stuff. But then the men know more than they do. And then this is when they start saying, oh, you don't want to, well, just because you know that, you ain't going to try to shame me. No, because women are pushing that they're so educated and they're so smart and they're so elevated and all of this. But then you ask them certain questions and they don't even have no clue, but the men do. And I'm not talking about, because what they're basing, the men that they're basing stuff on is the dudes, the small percentage of hood dudes who ain't finished, college or finish high school, and they just sitting out smoking weed and chilling in the hood, and they don't know, you only come across a few that you think you're smarter than. But when you become around the rest of these men have way more intellect and a lot more knowledgeable of certain things that these women have no clue about. But y'all are the most educated, right? And these men are just so lost. No, I think a lot of y'all are lost, and it's showing. The projections are real. It really is, but I'm not supposed to say that. I'm supposed to say all black women are just so educated. Don't come for them. Don't do too much. Don't say nothing about no black. I'm a black woman, and I'm saying this because I'm a black woman, so I can speak on it because I got black daughters. I have black daughters. I have black sons. I have a black husband. I have black family members. I'm black. I see the community. I see what it is. Now, while this may not be everybody, and we know it's not everybody, but for the sake of YouTube and the foolishness out here, we got to say that because people, use that. Well, you're talking about everybody. No, I'm talking about the ones that it applied to. Oh, my God. The ones that it applied to. And if it applies to you, then I'm talking to you. If it don't, keep it moving. Because we know for a fact that this is not the case. That all these women aren't just smarter than men like that. There are a lot of very intellectually, what I would call smart, knowledgeable men out here who run circles around these women. And some of them didn't go to college. They chose a different route. Some of them was in the military. Some of them, do welding. Some of them do whatever they do. Got their own businesses. They have a lot of sense. They've educated themselves. They've read some books. You don't have to go to college to be educated. The majority of these people going to college are dumb as hell. Dumb as hell. And I didn't need to see this on social media to know that. I know a couple of them. They're they go to college year round. They never stop. That's a part of their job. And dumb as hell. So yeah, school don't make you smart. It's what you ingest, it's what you learn, it's what you read, it's what you study. And you don't have to go to college to have wisdom and learn certain things, but you will be, baby, child, it's crazy out here though. Pharaoh, thank you for the super chat, says the Babylon women want a life like trapped in a closet. That's why our brothers need to continue to hold the line and invest overseas. Oh my God. Thank you, Pharaoh. Once again, I appreciate your support, bro. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, I just think this is partly why men are doing that, Pharaoh, and moving, to other places and trying to figure it out somewhere else, because these ladies over here, a lot of them are just cooked. Thank you, Pharaoh. I appreciate the super chat. Thinking men are not smart leads to many women's downfall. Yeah, and I think they realize how smart they actually are, especially how they're moving, because men have paid attention to what y'all have said, and now they're moving accordingly. And this is why they look shocked and confused, like, what's going on? Because they really think men are stupid, and I don't think that they are. That's an insult to any black man. That would be an insult for me to sit around here and think that all black men are just dumb when I have a very smart, intelligent husband and very smart and intelligent sons, even the 7-year-old. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you can't put everybody in that category. You can't put everybody in this one group and just say that's what it is. But then when you do that with them, they get mad. When in actuality, a lot of them are dumb. A lot of these women don't be knowing what's going on. A lot of them be confused. They're not all educated and so, so uplifted and so intellectual. They're really not. Now, the same way I do with men, I think there are, and I know that there are some intellectual, very smart, creative women for sure. But if I would be lying if I said all of them were, because that's just not true. But they all want to be looked at as such. They want everybody to believe in this delusional world that they see themselves in. And it don't work like that. Let's continue.
Yeah.
The worst feeling.
Yeah. So that sucks. That sucks. Because then you're left with, just what do I do? Because then you're worried that this is some kind of, effect on you. It always affects the women more than it affects the men, though.
But that also goes to say that we have finite amount of time
Yes.
of things to focus on. And then if we do have time to look for mates or be in those circles, we have to be very selective about the environments that we go in and what we're focused on getting. So I want to actually have this conversation with you because I have 2 daughters, right? And my kids are in Gen Alpha. And for Gen Alpha, 2/3 of the jobs that exist right now will not exist when they're of age. So it's a very uncertain future for them.
Yeah.
And we live in increasingly uncertain times right now. And I have a big gripe with hypergamy. The idea of telling my daughters that looking for a financially stable partner is the best bet, even in spite of the fact that we live in economic uncertain times. So I'm just curious from your vantage point on that, because there is so much talk about that online. And like I said, everything you described, in some people's cases, sounds like a fantasy. Like getting presented with a $150,000 necklace on day one, like that's a fantasy. Do you feel a sense of disillusionment from it? Or what would you say in response to people who look at that and say, oh, I aspire to that?
To getting the $150,000 necklace?
Well, everything that goes with it, to be putting yourself in the places where that's even possible.
It's just not real. It would be too difficult to maintain. It would be a headache to maintain. It would be constant anxiety, and I don't want it. I did it. I don't want it. Never want that for myself anymore. So if that would be the last thing that I advised a young girl to do, to look at, look at men of means being, your saving grace or your safety net. Girls are thriving. Women are thriving. We're outpacing men in every aspect of life right now. By the way, I saw their pictures. They are stunning. You must be so proud.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think Shan gets that because she has daughters. The same way I say I have daughters, and yeah, their futures are uncertain because we don't, and you just don't know, what the world is going to be like and how they're going to thrive, and if they're able to find husbands, and if my sons will be able to find suitable women for wives because they want to be married. And so I just think, yeah, it's going to affect us all in one way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? And so this is why, now I do like the fact that she did say she wouldn't push that on young girls, and she wouldn't, subscribe that or subscribe, she wouldn't promote that to young girls, because I don't think that you should. If anything, I think if you've been in that life, and I said this about the superhead lady, that if you've been in that life at your big age, you should be an example to these young women, to tell these women of what not to do, not promote this as if there's something to glorify, because I feel like the superhead lady was glorifying this, and they ate her ass up, and then if she getting off of social media, I haven't seen it in a while at least. But yeah, it's almost as if she was putting this on a pedestal and making it seem like this is something to aspire to be. And I just think that that's not right. You did that. You wrote a book and talk about all the horrible stuff you went through. And then you come out like this is something great to do, when you should be telling the young women that, no, you don't need to do this. You don't need to. If women are thriving, and if women are as successful as they're saying, and if women are in modern society getting to the bag and making the money and they don't need men, why are you still chasing a bag from a man? Why are there still these high, unrealistic expectations of what you should expect from a man if you can get to the bag and you really don't need them? You would think that you would look for something more serious, love, commitment, you know what I mean? And you could work on the other stuff because you're getting to the bag, he worked, y'all could put it together. I don't understand. It doesn't make sense. And when you see a lot of these women, and I talked about this yesterday, like a lot of these women are still talking about, oh, well, I need them. That big lady that's talking about 350K. Girl, please stop.
Oh my God.
You ain't getting that. You got to take your 350K and live your best life, because you ain't getting no man who makes 350K to take you seriously at all. He probably wouldn't even want to touch you. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't make sense that the women, to make a statement to say, oh, women are thriving and they're getting to the bag. But at the same time, a lot of these women out here are looking for rich men to take care of them. I don't understand it. So this is why there's such a big divide when it comes to women and men, because it doesn't make sense what the women are doing and how they're moving. And then they're going to find themselves in the situation like a lot of these older women are in. You're going to find yourself lonely and by yourself because nobody's going to deal with that. And these men are woke. They understand what's going on, and they're moving accordingly. They don't want to deal with these women who are superficial and unrealistic. Like who would? Gold diggers, you know? Nobody don't have, and then you've been ran through, and a lot of y'all got kids already. So no, that's gonna be a deal breaker for a lot of men. And it's unfortunate though, but let's continue.
I really, really am. And I am hopeful for them. I am hopeful for them to have an intimate life that is fulfilling. I also acknowledge that it comes in all forms. And don't get me wrong, I've spoken to women before who have a partner who has lots of means, and it contributes. It may not be the only reason, but it definitely contributes to their feeling of appreciation to be in the relationship, love for the relationship. Like,
And don't let me say that being like all rich men are pieces of shit. That is definitely not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
However, I've dated enough of them that there is a consistency. I call it rich man syndrome. You know what rich man syndrome looks like?
Right.
Somebody gotta get that. That's just their attitude. Somebody's always going to fall. Like they walk with a weight in front of them, and whatever happens behind them, they've got people just scrambling, picking things up, and whatever else. And also the fact that they have the money also is. they walk with the attitude and the bravado that they're the breadwinner, and they're the ones that are affording you this luxurious life. I was never very vocal about what it was that I wanted. The vast majority of men that I've been involved with have assumed that my love language was gifts. They weren't. It was not. It's like, okay, well, I'm not going to slap a gift horse in the mouth, but that's not my love language. That's not the price.
Well, and this love language-ish is really stupid to me. First off, I think they didn't care about your love language, first off.
Oh my God.
They didn't care. They was trying to get to the coochie and that's it. And they gave you some gifts. Now give me what I want. They wasn't giving a shit about no love language. Them men wasn't thinking about no goddamn love languages. Those men were like, smashing, that's what you do. Okay, I'm gonna break you off. And here, I'm gonna buy you something because that's nothing to me. They don't care about no love language. They don't care about what you want. They're gonna give you some gifts. The reason they think your love language is gifts, they don't care what you think. They're giving you what they're gonna give you because they know most of these chicks out here want stuff. Y'all want handbags, they know that they can get you with the quickness with a handbag, with some jewelry, with a few dollars, with a bag, with some shoes, and y'all gonna just bust it open. They already know, they don't, it's a love language. Them men I know about no damn love. Ask any of the men back in the day, was you thinking about a love language when you was getting ready to pounce on Melissa Ford? No, you don't think about no love language. You think about cracking that open. You don't care about no love. Oh, they want stuff. I'm gonna go get them some shoes. I'm gonna get them some clothes. I'm gonna get them some this. This is what they like. And that's all it takes. They don't care about all that. This is something new. This love language stuff is new. Them men was giving y'all what y'all wanted. And the same thing they wanted back then is the same thing they want now. You want to get to the bag. You want to buy you stuff. Pay your rent. And so if a man pay your rent, get you a new wig, get you a new outfit, get you some new shoes, pay your babysitter, then you going to bust it open with happily. You have no other boundaries or no other standards besides somebody buying you some superficial stuff that don't get you nowhere, don't mean you no good, don't do really nothing for you. And you ready to just give your body freely to a person for a purse, for some shoes, for a wig. That's all you worth. So it's kind of comical when you hear women say, oh, I know my worth now at 45. Oh, I know my worth. So now I'm requesting more money. Like, it just don't make no bit of sense, y'all. It really doesn't. Let's continue.
Primary one. The primary one is quality time. And then, right, physical touch, and those were the quality time was the one thing that I could never really get. But I always felt like I was asking for too much. Yeah.
Hold on. Dre the Dream 42 says, a man made up this love language. A man made this up?
Oh my
Baby,
God.
then he must be a simp. Why would you, what? Okay, whatever. Child. Baby, I ain't know that. Let's continue.
Yeah. And that's where I had to, do a lot of internal work, understanding standards, boundaries, how it all relates to my sense of self-esteem, or lack thereof at different times. For a long time, I lacked a lot of self-esteem. Thankfully, that attitude is going out the window. Kind of really love that Vogue article. Is it embarrassing to have a boyfriend these days? I've been on this time, right? I've been saying, don't post me, right? I am a pioneer in many things. But yeah, no, I've definitely had the whole can't keep a man. What's wrong with you? You seem so perfect, so something must be wrong with you, kind of thing. And it's just like, okay, whatever.
Well, there's an element to luck of it, which we have to acknowledge in anything in life, right? Like, I always remember this article I read about Zac Efron saying when people have praised him for the High School Musical thing or for his acting career, he's like, I want you to know that when I walked in the audition room, there was 70 other people who looked identical to me. For some reason, somehow, some lucky break, maybe I reminded someone a little more of their nephew, or I made a joke that hit with someone because they just ate that food that day, whatever it was, there was some lucky break that happened. It has nothing to do with talent or merit or anything else.
Very true.
I was there for the opportunity, I got a lucky break. And that applies to love or anything else.
I
you
agree
walk
with
into
that.
the deli store, you go to the grocery store, like you fall in love, or you have to have the chance of meeting, and then plus the availability. There's a lot of things that play to make it so finding your person is extremely hard. I actually love, what was that girl from Harry Potter's name?
Emma Watson.
Yeah, in an interview about that, she was asked that question too. Like, I don't get it. You're everyone's dream girl. She was the most beautiful woman alive at one point, and how are you still single? And she's like, how entitled are you all? Why do you think this is such a miracle thing to be a person, to find yourself, to love yourself, and to find somebody else who loves themselves, who you love being with, who amplifies your life, you happen to amplify theirs, and you want the same thing, live in the same town, your friends and family get along, like all of the variables that take place to make that happen. Why do we all feel like everybody should just have that?
I never did. I've always felt like people who found their person and they just work, they like as well as love. Because that's, to me, like is more important than love. Because there's a thin line between love and hate, but like equals respect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't think it's as hard as they're trying to make it seem, or unpopular. Every other group of people get married. Everybody else, we're at the bottom when it comes to marriage rates. White people, Indian, Asian, why is it so easy for them to find a mate and get married and have children and live their lives? And you know why? Because they're not looking for stuff that's superficial. They have average lives. They build businesses together. They work together. They come out of college. They get married. They do the things that's necessary to get the outcome. For some reason, in our communities, they act like marriage is taboo. Like, oh my God, we gotta, have all, these things together in order just to get married. When most people it don't happen like that. I think in our communities, the women are looking for once again something superficial. They're putting too much. Well, nowadays you have to think about it because of the way women are and how they think. But I think they're putting way too much on it. And I think because it was not something that was taught. It was not something that they were told they had to do. And in fact, they were told you don't need a man, and men ain't shit, and you can do everything by yourself. So there's like now they're catching up, like, damn, marriage is that important. They don't see it as an importance. People who get married and have been taught about marriage and the importance of it, they understand it. This is why they don't have a problem doing it. They start out young. The man don't have to be Superman. You meet a guy that likes you and you like him, and next thing you know, y'all married. They're not waiting for the best option. They grow with the option that they have, knowing the importance of marriage and what it's all about. See, we're living in superficial la-la land where a man got to have all this money before you even consider him. A lot of people don't even take the time to get to know each other. So you don't even give anybody a chance. You take one look at a person. Oh, his belt don't match. His belt don't match his shoes. I can't. That no. He can't be for you. It's no wonder why we're the lowest when it comes to marital rates. And then on top of that, now it's going to get worse because now men are skeptical about even approaching and marrying these women because y'all have exposed y'all hand and how y'all think and how y'all move. So it's only going to get worse. And I'm just thinking, yeah, the Black women and men just were not given the right information when it comes to marriage and family and all of that. Everybody else get married. All of their marriages don't work out now. Everybody just don't last. But they knew the importance of it and that was something that they were supposed to do. In our communities, oh, you don't need that. Your children don't need, you can have a baby, but you don't need to get married. That child don't need no father. You see the videos, the insane videos of women talking about, oh, children don't really need fathers. And this is all groups of women saying this. Oh, these children don't need no fathers. And you think, but then y'all complain when the kids get out of the hand and you can't handle them yourself as the mother. But they don't need no fathers. So why did you have a child then? Why did you needed a father to make that child and now you don't need him now that the child is here? It's just backwards. And then not understanding the consequences that are going to be associated with your actions. It just doesn't make sense, y'all. At all. At all. Let's continue.
And I've always looked at people who have like found their person and just found their soul's counterpart, if you will. I've always found them to be so lucky because it's really like a lottery. You know what I mean? And I just don't see anybody out there that I really would love to sleep with. Like, I'm super I'm an incel right now, involuntary celibate, because there's nobody out there that I would really like to sleep with. Plus I'm so busy. For me,
Well, I mean, that would make sense. When you've been all around, you probably tired at this point. At this point, you done it all with all these people. You don't. You probably don't. I mean, I get it. You probably worn out. And then, I mean, I'm pretty sure she could find somebody who would want to sleep with her, but she know that's all they're trying to do. So why would you? I wouldn't do it either. At this, I mean, you might as well. Hell, you done did it all your whole life. What's a few more? You know what I'm saying? At this point, it ain't gonna hurt nothing. I mean, shit. I mean, because I mean, unless, but I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. Let's continue.
What are you gonna do? Like, it might not happen for me in this lifetime. And whenever I say things like that, because I've said this for a really long time, people try to come to my rescue. Like, oh, don't think like that. Oh, you're putting negativity in the universe. I'm like, oh, shut the fuck up. I'm sorry. Like, am I really? Is it just my Canadian pragmatism and also like my assessment of chances and statistics? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think she's right. Tell them to shut the hell up because you're right. Ain't nobody trying to give you. It ain't happening, Captain. It ain't happening. They're not taking her seriously. And she still looks good. I think she looks great. I think Melissa looks great for her age. I mean, she looks great. I mean, if she was in the right frame of mind, she, who knows, probably could have been married and had kids by now, but that ship has sailed. So she's right to tell them to shut the hell up. They trying to be all positive about it instead of being realistic and say, girl, ooh, yeah, you missed out. That's what I would tell her. Ooh, you're my friend, but yeah, that ain't happening. I would tell you the truth in a nice way, especially if you was my friend. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to tell you the truth anyway, what I think. I'm not going to lie to you and sugarcoat it. No, because that's how people get messed up. No, tell the truth. So she's being realistic there. That girl, yeah, the baby thing ain't happening unless you adopt or something like that. Or you take, some other route or whatever. But possibility of getting married and having children, no, that's very, very slim. It ain't happening. And I'm glad she's aware of that. At least she's not delusional when it comes to that. I'll give her that. Let's continue.
There's nothing but opportunities to like lay down with somebody, but relationship wise, even less. Yeah, even less. There's just a real divide happening out there in, when it comes to like people who are still in the dating game. I exited stage left. Like I said, I don't even bother. My career is thriving right now. My friendship groups are incredible and so fulfilling. I travel a lot. I solo travel. I love it. And I'm really having a great moment in my life that is lasting years. So that the thought of like letting somebody in to potentially disrupt that, I don't have the time, patience, or desire for it. I'm seeing like a lot of women opting out too. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of women are just opting out because we're exhausted, and it's not just, race, ethnicity, or even age. I'm seeing like 30-something-year-olds saying like, yeah, no, 4B movement,
Again, going back to probability, and especially as specific as your life is.
Yeah, but why are they opting out? Why? Because they can't find the men who going to be simps for them. You're opting out because you have no other options. You done ran out of options. You have no other choice but to opt out because the men are not playing these foolish games. You can't get a rich man to come in and take you seriously. So you have no other choice but to opt. 4B movement, and that's bullshit too. Because these same ladies talking about this 4B movement, wondering why the men ain't approaching. The same women who were talking, oh, we just decentering men. We see them mad because men ain't approaching them. So we know they want you to approach them. They just try to use certain things to try to shame you into doing it. They think they slick. But yeah, at that age, and I don't care, 30, 40, 50, your mentality is off. And these men don't want to deal with it. So yeah, when you're constantly out here trying to date, and then as soon as you start talking and start telling the man how you think and all this independent BS, this men be like, okay, yeah, this ain't it. I'm not even gonna try. And then he ghosts you, and that's that. Now you wonder what happened. And then you keep going on dates, and every time, what happened? And every time you go on another day, oh, he didn't, I never heard from him again. And you don't ever realize it's you. You don't ever realize and say, you know what? Damn, I'm running every nigga off. Like every man I meet, oh my God, he keep ghosting me. What the hell is wrong with him? No, not what's wrong with him. What's wrong with you, honey? You're the problem. Every man you meet is not interested. They might be interested because you're cute. And then when you start talking, they're like, damn, I gotta ghost her. So yeah, you gotta opt out. You ain't opting out. You don't have no options, baby. Ain't nobody really taking you seriously. Ezel Kenny, thank you for the super chat. Says the welfare system did its part by letting women get help for children by different fathers after they were already on welfare, but they couldn't get welfare if a man was living in the house. Exactly. Exactly. Now they still had the men living in the house now, Ezel. So even though you couldn't, you had to present as a single mother with single mother. Oh, I got 3, 4 kids. I'm by myself. It's just me. Yes, you qualify. Go ahead on, get this government assistance. Let Zaddy take care of you, right? Shout out to Crimson Cure with the Zaddy thing. That always makes me laugh when they be saying Zaddy this and Zaddy that. Baby, yeah. So yeah, even though the men were not supposed to be in there, they had some dudes shacked up in there with them. You know what I mean? Because they needed a man around. So even though they couldn't be in there, they had them in there still, sneaking in there, leaving when they had to do inspections and all that. I as a young child, I saw it with my own 2 eyes. So yes, and every woman in there has a stepdaddy for her kids. The real dad is never around because you was dipping it and doing it and just screwing and not prioritizing real relationships. And so you got children by yourself. So you become a single mother. Thank you, Ezel. I appreciate you. And now you qualify for government assistance. And everybody, all my friends I grew up with, everybody had a stepdaddy, a dude in the house. He ain't paying nothing because ain't nothing to pay. He might be contributing in other ways, but he ain't had no rent because in the projects you didn't have to pay rent. Government assistance back then, especially if you're in the projects, there was no rent. You didn't have to pay no light bills. At least the ones we grew up in, no light bills, no water bill, no gas, none of that. And if you worked, and then they didn't work, so you didn't have to pay nothing. But if you worked, if you had a job living in the projects or government housing or whatever, then yeah, you would have to pay a portion, a small rent. Like they would charge you. It could be cheap, but it just depends on how much money you make. So if you got a regular job, you're not making a whole lot of money. You might have to pay something in rent, but there was never no light bills or none of that kind of stuff. But then there was always some man that was there that was a stepdaddy. So they always had a man around and making more children. And the more children you had at one point, the more government assistance you get. I knew one lady, she had like 10 children back then. And then she just kept having them back. And it was all stair steps, kept back to back to back to back, so she can get more on the check. So yeah, they became accustomed to that. Even though it wasn't a whole lot, they didn't have to work for it. So it was easier to accept something as a handout as opposed to getting up and going and work and make a living for yourself, which would have been better because they weren't getting a whole lot of money, but it was a lot to them, especially if you didn't have to work for it, which is crazy. So it stifled them, in my opinion. It made you rely on that and you don't know how to get out and work or do anything for yourself. You always depend on somebody else. It's made them dependents and dependable on somebody else to take care of them. Blue X225, thank you for the super chat, says, are Black men more colorist or are Black women more classist in today's time? What y'all think? I think Black women are more classist for sure. I think Black women are more classist. I do think the colorism thing exists, but I think when it comes to the colorism and classes, I think women are much more classist. I do. What do y'all think? I don't know. I mean, I don't have any statistics to show which is more or one. I know both of them exist for sure, but who's more? I think women are more classist, especially now, especially in 2026. Because look what they're expecting, and look how they look. They're average looking, and they some of them may make above average money, but they're average looking. But they don't see that because they think the money to them makes them higher value. But when it comes to looks and where they are, look how they speak on average men. Look how they speak about men who make less money than them. They look at them and turn their nose down like they're better. So yeah, and I see a lot of that happening. And because we have more women than men, I would say women are more classist for sure. Thank you, Blue X. I appreciate you. Let's continue.
Is as high profile as you are, as beautiful, as intimidating as you are. You have a very specific life, so you're going to require a very specific partner. Yeah. If you go to a town and there's 100 men there, and you're like, okay, I want him to be college educated. All right, cool. There's 30 left. I don't want him to be my cousin. All right, well, now there's 28 left. I want him to be 6 feet. Now there's 5 left. I don't want him to be married. Now there's 2 left. So the probability game happens when just by virtue of the person that you're looking for, it's going to be very specific. And then to your point, maybe you don't want to spend your energy searching. No, because it might take that. When Jafar was searching for that lamp, do you want to turn over every grain of sand to find your partner?
No, I'm leaving it up to the universe, and so I feel like maybe possibly through my job, through the work that I do now, doing public speaking engagements, ending up at conferences like the Congressional Black Caucus and film festivals and that sort of thing. Those kinds of, places and events kind of more likely probability wise have the echelon of man that I am. I would be more likely to consider. But for me, it's not just status and prestige and height and bank account. It's not.
Well, listen, that's all the clip that I have. But she was saying that her being in these certain areas, she might possibly find a man that she could, date or whatever. But it's not just about that. It's not just about that she's concerned about. But once again, I don't think that makes a difference. I think you'll find yourself in a room with a bunch of men of prestige and money and height and down to earth people. Those people are down to earth too in many cases, but they still know who you are and they're still not going to take you seriously, in my opinion. Now, if she finds her a man that she could be with, I'm not going to be like, oh, a beta. You know how y'all be like, oh, he's a beta and he's a simp. I'm not going to do that because I don't really give a damn. But what I'm saying, I would just be, if she could get a beta, a simp or whoever, then that's what she has to get. If she get it and, he takes her seriously and marry her and they go adopt a child together, okay, well, win-win for her. But at least she found somebody. You may not agree that the type, but we can't control that. He might see some worth in her. He might be okay with it. You know what I mean? If that's what he chooses, that's his choice. Let him go deal with whatever the consequences are with that. It might be good. It might not. That's their business. You got to try. But so yeah, I don't do that. Oh, he's a beta and he's a simp and this and that. No, if he go for her and he pick her, well, that's his choice. That's his choice. If he okay with her past and all that, kudos to him and her. If y'all can make it work, make it work. You know what I mean? But we know the probability of that is not likely or not high. But if that's why I say if she could get somebody, then hell, kudos to her. I'm not mad at it. I don't got to deal with it. Jamil, thank you for the super chat. Says, who the hell is paying Melissa to do speaking engagements to talk about what exactly? LOL. Right. Right, exactly. Thank you, Jamil. Unless she talks about what she's saying now, her regrets or whatever about. But who wants to keep bringing it up in these different crowds about regretting being a a video vixen, being a 304 in the back in the day? Like, I don't think that's something to be proud of. That's what I'm. So you're right. Why would they have you on the black with the black? What is it? Congressional caucus, black caucus talking about hoism? I'm just saying, right? Maybe unless you tell them how not to be hoes. I don't know. What's the audience though? Child. Thank you, Jamil. That's a good question. Pharaoh says she may as well buy something from Adam and Eve then pass along. Well, Pharaoh, I mean, she probably already have that. I'm just saying. Most women do. She probably already have that, Pharaoh. So she probably got that already tucked away, child. Thank you, Pharaoh. I appreciate you. Child, it's just a mess. But anyways, shout out to Melissa Ford. I hope she, does well. I hope she get whatever peace, find peace of mind in life. Because as long as you're alive, there's hope in some kind of way. Hope that you can have peace in your life because certain things just ain't gonna happen. But at least you can hope for peace and wellness. She seems financially stable. So if you got that and you got a peace of mind and you're happy with your life and you living good and you ain't stressed out, kudos to you. Because there are a lot of people who aren't and can't find peace and happiness for nothing to save their life. So if she can find the love and the peace that she looking for, kudos to her. I'm here for it. Because some people are struggling in that area. Yeah, so it is what it is. Let's move on. I want to get to this also. I want to talk about this Dwayne Wade clip that's floating around social media about his wife Gabrielle Union talking about the 50-50 comments. She's been getting some backlash over those comments because she's been very vocal about going 50-50 in her marriage. And a lot of women did not like that, of course. And I want to play a video of what she had to say on that and get Dwayne Wade's response as well, because he's saying that's not the case. So I want you guys to hear what they're saying. Make sure you chime in the chat. Hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button. Hit the like button, y'all. Make sure you are giving a super chat to support the channel, y'all. That definitely helps out. And shout out to everybody who already gave super chats and who have already supported in that way. I appreciate y'all for that. Make sure you guys are supporting in that way as well. All right. But let's go ahead and get into this particular video because I thought this one was very, very telling. Here we go.
Say I'm head of household because in this household, we split everything 50-50. But in the other households that each of us have to support, it puts this, there's always this like gorilla on your back that it is like, you better work, bitch. You better work. You better work. You gonna sleep in? Somebody might not eat. Come on, you better work. And it's hard. It's hard to let that go. famously said 50-50 or bust, right? And I meant that financially, spiritually, emotionally. And there's just a lot of days that I have 10% and I need him to be 90. There's days I don't have shit and I need him to be 100. It's a trauma response. And 50-50 is I'm not going to be vulnerable enough to trust you with 100% of anything, not my heart, not my cash. And when I started to really address that, and I was like, do you want to pay whole mortgage? I thought I was about to die. I had such anxiety. Like I was crying, I was shaking. And he was like, you insisted on that. He's like, I thought it made you feel better. I'm like, it did. And right now I want to take it back. Now it sounds crazy to be like, you, Mr. NBA superstar who made a bazillion more amount of money than I do, can pay the mortgage, because I hate the feeling of releasing that to someone. And you release that to someone, chaos can happen. And it's brought us closer because he knows it's not about whether he can afford it. It's being vulnerable enough to be open enough to know that I'm okay. I'm okay.
So it's something she wanted. Oh my God. And he talks about it. He's going to address that. So you wanted, you asked to have the 50-50, split the mortgage or whatever, because you didn't feel comfortable with him paying it all. And he's going to talk about that. And I'm like, so I don't understand why when women, you're the one who initiate something, and then you talk as if you have a problem with it. As if it's a problem. If you knew that of course you haven't made as much money as he has, so he makes more. But why would you propose the 50-50? Okay, you want to feel equal to the man, and you want to pay. I mean, that's opposite of what women are out here saying. Women are out here saying they don't want to go 50-50, but she instigated it. She initiated it. So you want to do it. So why come out and talk about it in that way, but also make it seem like you're poor, like you're broke, like, oh my God, if you can't pay it, oh, y'all gonna be homeless. No, when you know he's gonna have your back. I don't understand. This is your husband. Y'all are married. So y'all share resources and all of these things. So he has it. So this is why I say women are confusing. It's just confusing to me, but let's continue.
As his wife, he's okay as my husband. I'm okay in this family. I'm okay in this home. I deserve it. And so I'm trying to expand my heart, expand all of the notions of what vulnerability can look like.
As you heal, as you evolve, as you lean more into vulnerability, you can also change how you feel about something, and it's okay. Sometimes when we build those walls up for safety or to keep what we think is harm out, we can also keep love out too.
50-50 in our household is, first of all, let's say I have 20 to 50 responsibilities. Right. And my wife have 20 to 50 responsibilities. And when I say that, that means she has a mother, she has her sisters, she has her dad, she has a lot of things that she's responsible for. Right. You know what she does? Right. She pays 100% of that. Right. You know what I do? I pay 100% of my life. When our life come together, my wife is a working actress who spends time away from the family to go work, do our job. Build. Right. We decided together, because I think I said one time we was in Miami, I said something about it being my house that I paid for. My wife looked at me, she was like, you will never say that to me again when it's something that we share. And so my wife was like, that when we moved to LA, I got half on it. You will never say my house again. Wow. She said, you can say that in the arena. And so in our life, our home, 50-50, we purchased it together. Right. Our daughter, anything that goes on with our daughter, 50-50, we share it together. Right. Now, it's some things I pick up versus some things she pick up, but she does something, I do something. Right.
Yeah, it does. Somebody who said it, Dre the Dream said, this sounds like a lot of individualism in a marriage. Right. That's what it does. And I think that could be a problem. And somebody else mentioned competition. Like, it does seem like a lot of these women who have become successful, they're competing in the marriage. You're competing in the marriage. Like, I mean, hell, if he said, "Oh, this my, I want to do something with my house," you could easily said, "Hey, it's our house." I don't know. I don't know. This is why I say a lot of women are batshit crazy for real. They're covering up what's really going on. Something ain't right. I don't know when they bit that apple, or was something when Eve bit that apple. It created a world of trouble. It created a world of trouble. Oh my God. Something ain't right. Something is just off. And, I think eventually we'll figure that out. But something is off with a lot of these women. I really do think so. Like, something ain't right. And I said it. They're covering up something. Something about a lot of these women is thrown off. And we'll and maybe in this lifetime we'll really get to the bottom of it, because something just is not right in our heads and our genetic makeup. Something is thrown off. There's a gene in there that's called batshit crazy, in my opinion. I'm just saying, y'all. It's got to be, because something. I mean, trauma. You know, they haven't resolved their issues. You need to really get some real help. JSU Tiger 07, thank you for the super chat, sis. Check out the movie Claudine, starring Diane Carroll and James Earl Jones. It talked about welfare. Thank you. I think I've seen a bit of that, if I'm not mistaken. Thank you, JSU Tiger 07. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you for the support. Yeah, I really do, y'all. I'm not even kidding. I think something is wrong. And it's like, God, like, what? I don't know. This is why I say you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. As a man, you can be the sole provider of a household, taking care of your wife and kids and thinking she good. She at home, and then you come home, she bust out crying and depressed and want to leave. Because something is off. You give them what they want, and then they want something else. And then you keep running and trying to please them and give them everything that they want, and they keep running in the opposite direction. And the more you try to give them what they want, the more you end up by yourself. Because the more you try to give them, then she's going to end up wanting to leave for real. She's going to file for divorce. The more you give them, the more they have a problem with it. So this is why some men are like, hell, I'm not doing this for you. The less I do, the better. The less I do, the more you run behind me. The less I do, the more you're interested in me, the more you coming to me. Because that idea of you doing all this for women just doesn't work. It does not work, because they're never satisfied. They're going to always find a problem with what the hell you're doing. So why keep doing it? You're beating a dead horse. It's like resources and love and commitment and pouring all this into the wrong woman, because clearly it's going to be the wrong woman. But we all are a little batshit crazy, seriously. But to me, like I said before, it's the little levels. You got to figure out what level, because the worst off levels, them the ones going to wake up and have this feeling like, oh my God, this doesn't serve me and I'm out. No, we all a little batshit crazy. I put myself in that, but maybe I'm going to toot my own horn and say maybe a small level, not to compare, because I see some stuff that I'm like, oh God, no, she's level 3 batshit crazy. You know what I'm saying? Or, ooh, she level 10. Ooh, you know what I mean? Because what you see out here is levels of batshit crazy for all women, in my opinion. We got it in us. The nicest woman you could ever meet, the most sincere, soft-spoken woman. And y'all know a lot of women fake that soft-spokenness too. I just want you to know that. Every woman that you come across is soft-spoken. Don't think that is all real, baby. Let you know. Just a public service announcement. Every woman that sounds soft-spoken is not really soft-spoken. Get her mad. Make her mad. Make her mad, and you're going to see that demon come out. You're going to see that soft-spokenness go away, and she'll be ready to, cut you up, depending on what batshit crazy level she's on. Don't say I ain't never told you nothing. Don't say I ain't never taught you nothing. Because trust me, don't think just because somebody is soft-spoken and they seem feminine and they seem like, oh, they won't hurt a mouse. You'll be surprised, baby. Them be the ones pull out knives. You get what I'm saying? And stab you in the back. So just be careful, because everything ain't what it seems. Everything isn't what it's. Y'all talk about the chameleon. Y'all know. But I'm just saying, be careful. Know who you're dealing with. Know who you're messing with. I'd rather know that she's level 3 batshit crazy, because I know what that comes with, versus not knowing what level she's on, and she's appearing to be so sweet and humble and nice, and then she come out of nowhere and shock your ass, and then you be like, what the hell happened? Just saying, be cautious, be careful, serious, because it's real. It's real. I wouldn't be even saying it. It is real. So yeah, so you got to be very, very careful out in the streets, baby. AJ 2105, thank you for the super chat. Says they keep moving the goalposts all the time. That's why I say you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. You just don't know what to do to please women nowadays, because it keeps changing, and who could keep leveling up to that every time it changes? How do you keep up? You'll find yourself running in circles, trying to do what you think is right for women who will never be pleased. Like that ain't it. You got to find somebody that's why I say these material things and this money and all this stuff here is a setup. You got women who say they have men with money and they still unhappy and ungrateful. So, child, I don't know. I don't know if old school women who understand the value of $1 and understand men and understand real life stuff, I don't know where they at. That's why I say y'all got to jump out. Y'all got to pop out. The women who understand relationships and men and want one, but you just haven't come across, y'all got to pop out. Y'all got to put y'all got to wear neon dresses or something. Hell, y'all got to wear neon dresses that says, I'm here. I'm not superficial. I'm not a modern woman. Y'all gotta pop out. Y'all gotta put highlighters on. Cause otherwise these men don't know. Baby, thank you for the super chat, AJ. It's cause it's getting really bad. Pharaoh, you like Catwoman or Batwoman? Catwoman or Batwoman, Bat is crazy. Remember, they crazy. That's all I know. Crazy as hell. A lot of these women, child. Thank you, Pharaoh. Pharaoh, a mess. Thank you, Pharaoh. Yeah, y'all got to be careful. Let's continue.
If we take a yacht trip, we could do it 50-50, or I can do it myself. But my wife is a working woman.
Right.
She's a boss and an independent woman in her own life.
Right.
She's like, I'm gonna put, you know what, that little 200 that you was gonna spend on this, I'm gonna throw something else on there and we're gonna go on a bigger trip. We're gonna ball out. Like, this is my wife.
Right.
Right? Like, I don't know about y'all, but I like having a wife that's like, that's cool, you can do that. The house we live in, thank God, in Hidden Hills, nice house.
Right.
Whatever millions. We could have had a nice house on my 50% too.
Right.
It'd have been nice.
Right.
She was like, no, let me put something else on and let us live a little different.
Oh, yeah, they got a little bigger.
So we probably share 3 things in our life that we 50-50 on.
Right.
Everything else, I'm 1,000%, and she's 1,000%.
Right.
Going 50-50 on a date. This took over Dwayne's life for about 18 months, this conversation.
I guess, it went really strong in the WPS community.
What was the WPS community saying about 50-50? Were they supportive of it?
I don't mean, there was a lot of conversation around it, but it wasn't real anyway. So let's clear that up right now.
It wasn't real?
It's never real.
Thank you. I didn't want to say that. Yeah, it's never real.
What do you mean?
You know,
like, this is what people think.
People
think if you go to dinner and it's a $90 bill, she's paying $45 and you're paying $45, buddy. No, that's not real. It ain't 50-50. If everything ain't 50-50, you can't take 1 or 2 things and make it 50-50.
I agree.
So
I've never been 50-50.
I don't even know what. I ain't never been close.
Me either.
What you talking about?
I ain't never been 90-10.
I've had moments in certain areas where, like, let's buy this house together.
No.
Let's go on this trip together maybe once in a while, but
not
everything else.
But we're not splitting the Starbucks.
It ain't no way. I got
50-50 is WPS.
50-50 does feel like WPS.
Yes, this is where people.
Yeah. Black people weren't happy with that conversation.
They were not.
Yeah, and I was looking at them like, I ain't with that either. Like, I'm not letting my woman play. She don't need to.
Dude.
We good.
I'm telling you, that whole conversation, I felt like it ended people's relationships, and the fact that it wasn't even actually happening in your life makes it so funny.
Yeah, it wasn't really happening. My wife said they edited it a little bit because I was like, hey, what you doing? What's up? Why you do that? She was like, nah, that wasn't how.
That wasn't how
it wasn't in the context. They took it out of context.
This is my last
great
one,
marketing, though.
and I don't.
Baby, child. Oh my God. Listen, whatever your relationship stuff is, whether it's how you do 50-50, that's between you and the person that you're with. However y'all want to divide up or do, I think that's person specific. I think that's relationship specific, however you want to do it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with however you decide to run your household. You know, once again, I said this before. Listen, my husband, when we first got married and we were, living together, he paid all the bills. He paid all paid all the bills for our whole marriage. But once again, and I say this too, because people are like, well, and we had children and we had more children, but he paid all the bills, but we didn't have extravagant bills either, but he paid them. He had a good job. He did music on the side. He did a few things, but he made enough money to take care of his family, but we weren't living extravagantly. I was not looking for an extravagant life. We lived comfortably, but we didn't live an extravagant life, nor did we want that. You know, I know a lot of people, well, not a lot, but I know a few people who have been married, a few people who have been married and they've had financial issues. And everybody go through financial troubles and stuff. And they were 50-50, some of them and they still struggle and they still had to end up leaving and moving out of their apartments and go living with other people for a time period, until they got their finances together and stuff like that. People go through hard times. That's just a part of life. But I say this, you have to budget and you have to have it together. I mean, our whole marriage, my husband always provided. We never had to go live with nobody. Thank God, we always had a stable roof over our heads with the kids and all. We've never had to go live with nobody or ask for nobody for help or none of that. People will offer because people are like, y'all have all those kids and they're like, oh my God, I know it's expensive. No, thank God. My husband was able to provide for his family. We never had to depend on anybody outside of us for our well-being, thank God. But I understand people have issues and people have struggles. And these are some of these people went 50-50, some of them did not. People lose jobs, things get hard. That is a part of life. But I look, people who are single by themselves struggle to pay their bills and maintain. They got to maneuver and do things and sometimes have to, change apartments and downsize and all this when they're by themselves. So my thing is this, why not? Because this concept of, why should I get a man if I'm still going to struggle? Well, if you're struggling by yourself, I mean, it would be better to have two people working together. That way, more than likely, you won't have to struggle. More than likely, you won't if y'all budgeting right and you living right. You're not trying to live above your means. If both of y'all are contributing, then you shouldn't be struggling. And it's better to have two people working together than you doing it all by yourself. This is what women are complaining about now. So, this 50-50 conversation, we always see it. Somebody's always talking about it. There are women who just like, I ain't never going 50-50 with no man. Okay, well, just do it all 100% by yourself. Cool. You happy with that? Because you're complaining about that too. Which one do you want? Jamil 843, thank you for the super chat. Once again, says Dwayne Wade, Hall of Fame player, Hall of Fame simp. Thank you for the super chat, Jamil. Jamil say he a simp, child. Divine Photos, what's going on? Thank you for the super chat. Says the economy is horrible. One person can't do all the heavy carrying. That's why both men and women need each other. Maintain the balance, not imbalance. I agree 100%. I agree. I agree. I agree 100%. And and the reason I agree because I think it makes much more sense. And yeah, I say my husband paid all the bills, so we didn't have extravagant bills at the time. It was back in the day. Things were a lot more affordable and cheaper. But he was able to do it. He was able to do it, take care of his kids, the kids that we created together. And we had everything that we needed, and things we wanted. There was no complaints. But you know what I'm saying? But our priorities were on point, though. Ain't nobody was spending all this money and all extravagant, because a lot of people could afford some of the stuff they have if they stop spending the way they do. You can't afford what you have because you're spending it on things that really don't matter. Everybody trying to look, keep up with the Joneses. Everybody trying to look rich. Everybody trying to buy, cars and paying $1,000 car notes and all this. Thank you, Divine Photos. I appreciate you. Everybody trying to drive expensive cars and you barely can afford the note. Everybody trying to, look like they rich when you're really not. And so it's not that you can't afford your life a lot of times because a lot of people make good money. It's just you're spending it. You're not spending it wisely. And so when you do that, yeah, you end up struggling because now you're in credit, you're putting everything on credit cards. You're just putting yourself in further debt, trying to look rich when you're really not. And so, yeah, that's just a problem. People are not appropriating funds in the right ways. And so then they end up, going broke over dumb stuff, and that's just a common thing. And so this is why when I hear women who ask for all of this money from a man, I know what's going on. I know you spend it on Gucci and Louis and all of this stuff to try to please and appease the people in the public, and these people ain't coming to pay your bills for you. They're not coming to give you money to pay your damn bills. That's your responsibility. And so they spending all this money and they get so far in debt, and now you want a rich man to come in and rescue you, and that's not fair to him. Otherwise responsible man who does not spend the way you do, you want him to come into your life and take care of you and take on your lifestyle. No, nobody want to do that. That's a lot. Ain't nobody trying to do that. Pharaoh, thank you once again for the super chat. Says brothers just invest overseas because America's rankings doesn't determine you everywhere. I'm a Biggie Small stunt double in USA, but Alonzo Harris in Thailand, Philippines, or Africa. I know you lying. Oh my God. Pharaoh. I know you lying, but I get what you, Pharaoh, you're a hot mess though. But thank you, Pharaoh. I appreciate you. What you mean? I get it. He funny though. You trying to be funny. Thank you, Pharaoh. I appreciate you, bro. Yo, it's Eric TV. What's going on? How are you? Says busy. Busy my butt 60 hours a week. I'm asking myself why you have no wife or kids. Problem is now they want a fantasy lifestyle now, thinking they're divas, thinking that divas not brokey or not broke. I think that's what you're saying. I guess you're saying busy, work about 60 hours a week. I'm asking myself why, I have no wife or kids. Problem is now they want a fantasy lifestyle now, thinking they divas and not brokey. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's just, thank you, yo, it's Eric TV. I appreciate you so much for being here and I appreciate the support. Yeah, it's just an unrealistic way of thinking, y'all. And we see it every single day. And, it is what it is. They want what they want, but they're having a hard time getting it. And they refuse to settle, as they would put it, which is not settling in my book. It's just being realistic and understanding what's important and how to get what you want, meaning having a successful life with a person, living life with a person, sharing life with somebody, building a life together, having experiences with this person, as opposed to doing it all by yourself and, and expecting unrealistic things from a man as if he's Jesus. He got to be perfect. He got to have every little box checked off in your mind. And if he doesn't, you can't do it. But do you check off all of his boxes? Because if he had a box that says fit, feminine, cooperative, loving, cute, 5'5", thick in the thighs, no children, Christian, woman who loves the Lord, who speaks softly, who's willing to get on my program and listen to what I say, then they would check off none of those boxes. Oh my God. First off, they'll be mad at the box choices. But see, they can have whatever they want. You can't be mad about it, but they would be pissed of what you asking for. Because they're like, wait a minute, how do you feel? You can ask for that. That's what they'll try to shame what you're asking for, as opposed to trying to be what it is that you're asking for. So yeah. So first off, none of them would check it off. Most all these women are obese. They're overweight, obese. They're obese. Yes, they are. They're not fit for me. They'll cuss you out from head to toe. They'll tell you what you're not gonna do and who the F you think you are. So they're already aggressive. So you can't change that. And then a lot of them, are obese. Let's not forget that. And guess what? They're obese. Just saying. I mean, and oh yeah, they're obese. I'm just saying. Oh my God. And if you don't want that, child, they will check off none of the boxes. So they don't want men to start asking you to check off boxes, because they're not gonna qualify. I'm just saying. But that's what they're asking for. You gotta be 6 feet tall, 6-pack abs, 6 figures, tall, dark, and handsome. You gotta be muscly. You gotta be masculine and feminine when she needs you to be. You gotta be perfect. You can't make no mistakes. You gotta make sure you pay for the meals all the time. You gotta show up on time, say the right things, have some swag. You gotta have her flowers, candy, and give her some money. You gotta cash app her right when you meet her so she'll know it's real. You got to say all the right things. You got to be able to put it down in the bed. You got to have the right size down there. You got to make sure you know what you're doing, because she done been through. She been ran through. So, down there it's going to be sensitive because she needed to be just right, because, she done been there too much. So now it's like, you got to go in extra time and, do acrobats in that thing to try to like please her, because she's already been ran through. So you got to accept that. She got 3 kids. You know what I'm saying? She don't check off none of your boxes, but you gotta be a Superman made from God, perfect in every way. So she won't feel like she got to go get her some other men to please her every need and give her everything. You got to have all the money so you can pay for all the trips. You got to pay for all her bills, your bills, her kids' bills. You got to be a Superman from God. Oh my God. In order to please these women who have been ran through, don't have nothing. They don't have one thing that you want. All they got is BBLs and makeup and a fantasy. They don't have nothing you want. When you boil down to it, all they got is a fake facade, and everything else is the opposite of what you would prefer from a woman for all that you got to give. That's what y'all looking at. Overweight women with an attitude. I'm just saying, the overweight lovers with attitudes and expectations and dreams and fantasies and unrealistic requests. And they're looking for a perfect man who's going to give them the world and more. And that's what's out here. You got to be able to dress. You got to love your mama. You know what I'm saying? You got to worship the ground she walk on. And once you call her and she don't answer, you got to keep calling. So when you call her and she don't answer at all, you got to call back. She don't answer at all, you got to call back. And then on that, she's sitting there giggling and laughing up on the other side of the phone, like, ooh, she keep calling, girl. He sweating me. Ooh, yeah, I got him. And you got to keep calling until she finally answers. And then she say, hello. You like, girl, where you been? I've been trying to call you all the time. Oh, I was asleep. I was doing something. What you want? Oh, I'm glad I got you. Ooh, I didn't know what had happened. I thought you had ran away from me. That's how you got to talk to them. So they can feel good. Act like you obsessed, like you crazy. Like, ooh, girl, you had me worried. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know if I was going to get you or not. I had to keep going. Oh, I'm here. Oh, my God. They want you to chase them, child. You gotta chase them. Otherwise, it ain't real. Pharaoh says, but they get to look like Black Yokozuna from WWE, child. Oh my God. Yes, Lord. Thank you, Pharaoh, for the super chat. Right. I mean, come on, you can't make this up. Thank you, Pharaoh, once again. I appreciate you. It's just stupid. We really need to get back to what's real, y'all. I wish we could. Once again, like, get back to what's real. Like, where people work, people on this, look, I like you, you like me. Let's go hang out. Let's go grab a pizza. What's wrong with that? What's all these 5-star restaurants that cost $300-$400 a meal? Like, for what? God damn, y'all that hungry? What's happening? Let's go get some pizza and a drink. And let's go sit down and chill out. What's wrong with that? I don't understand. Like, I don't understand the superficial caliber. I don't know. I was about to make up a word. I don't understand it. And it's sad because, listen, I'm praying my daughters could meet them a decent guy. And I'm praying my sons can meet decent wives, because who are realistic and not this, because this is ridiculous. I want them to get married. I want to see them with some, relationships, because this is, because it ain't about me at this point, but I have daughters. I have grown daughters and grown sons. And I want them to find decent people. You know what I'm saying? I want grandchildren one day. My children don't have children because they're not out here slinging it around like that. They're not slinging it around. They're not trying to get no babies. They want to be married and have a real solid family. And they're not ready for that just yet either. But when they are, I'm hoping they can find somebody decent because I sure don't want no scallywag coming around talking with my son talking about I got 3 children, 3 baby daddies, and me and your son we want to be together. Oh God, hell no. Oh my God. Oh hell no. Hell no. I don't want that. I want to be a grandmother one day, but I don't want ready-made grandchildren. Shit. I'm just saying, like, no. No. It's just a mess. Oh, I got one more clip for y'all. I almost forgot. I got one more clip I want to share with y'all because this shows you how delusional a lot of these women are. This clip gonna show you how delusional everybody, a lot of these, not everybody, but a lot of these women are. Hit the like button, y'all. Please hit that like button, y'all. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button, y'all. Let's get into this last clip that I got for y'all. I wanted to share this. I've been having this for a minute. I want to show you how delusional some of these women are. Here we go.
You're not good enough.
I can't do a guy that's short. Like, yeah, I just can't do it. I mean, for me, I'm quite a visual person in a way. Yeah, and I'm also just above the average height. So I feel like I should be with someone just a bit taller than the average, if that makes sense. Now, is he your type? No. Okay, and why not? Nothing's given.
So what do you mean by that?
Yeah.
You do look appealing, congratulations. And you're very decent. But yeah, your attitude.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't choose you. You're too big for me, but...
I take it. Thank you very much.
And Keenan, why did you pop your balloon?
Physically attractiveness. I think I like my girls with like just a little bit more slim and a bit more bum as well. No offense, darling, but that's just my preference when it comes to physical attraction.
Wait, let me just say, it's funny how like a lot of you guys were focusing on me preferring height, but you guys are focusing on the body.
Someone that doesn't want to be focused on for their size should be looking at other people for height as well.
No.
Or height is something you can't really control, but then like size you can. You know what I'm saying? Ooh. If you don't want to be judged off of your physical attraction.
No, I don't care. But yeah, thank you.
And there you have it. It's women like this, the 2s and 3s of the world, that are telling you you're not good enough. Yeah, she has a problem with someone being short, but had a problem with them looking at her like she's big. And then she says, I'm not the biggest thing in the world. You're big, ma. No ass at that, like homie said. But these are the chicks that'll judge you. The ones that are insufferable too. She has a bad attitude, looking at them and talking at the dudes like they ain't shit. Like she's that hot. And then she complains that they got a problem with her weight. Yeah, because you can control that. And the thing is, if she was a sweetheart, it'd be different. Granted, attraction is still physical, but then you could tell when someone has a nice soul. They speak nice, they speak softly, they're polite, but she's insufferable, had a bad attitude. Even the bigger dude popped this balloon because she had a bad attitude and she's like, oh, you're too big for me. Shorty, have you looked in the mirror? She thinks she's hot shit, and that's because some 8, 9, or 10 hit this and she was like, yeah, that's it. This is what's out there, fellas. Be careful. Women even like this think you ain't shit and they deserve the top of men. So be out there, stay humble, and watch out now.
Oh my God, I couldn't agree with him more. Look at her. Yes, and he said the 2s and 3s of the world. Yeah, this is it. She's big and awkward, and she's sitting here because she thinks she's a 10. That's why. She's big and out of place, misplaced, awkward, and she thinks she's hot shit. And so she can talk to men like that because she believes she's bought into this idea that all women are 10s. And she really thinks she's hot shit because you gotta go out here you gotta believe you hot shit to go out here and talk to these men like, oh, you're too big. Like you right there with him, baby. You right there with him. You big, he big. Y'all should be a good match. Nope, he too big. You would have preferred that skinny guy because you know them big girls like the skinny dudes. So she liked that skinny guy who told her you too big. She like, why? Because she liked him. She was feeling him if he wanted her, but he don't want you. You really think that you're hot shit and you can go out here and get whatever you want. Until they humble you and let you know, no, ma'am, Miss Pam. And then you mad because he have a preference, but you think you can have all the preference in the world. This is what we constantly seeing over and over and over. And they're just not getting it, a lot of them. They really don't see it. They really out here thinking they hot shit as big as you could be. And look at you. She look strong, like, you know, like, come on. And y'all just out here thinking that all these men will want you shooting your shot. And the men, when they tell you the truth, you get mad. I don't care. Yeah, because you don't care. She got mad. She was like, I don't care. She mad. She was mad because he didn't want to accept her because she went on that show like, I hope I can find some good ones. and not realizing that you're not a good one for them. This is what I said. Who you want gotta want you. You can want what you want all day, but if they don't want you back, you're out here seeking a companion. You're seeking a man, or the man seeking a woman, whoever. You're seeking something. But if you could seek and look till you can't seek no more. If they don't want you, you ain't getting them. You could think a man is hot and fine all day and approach him. If he don't like you, he don't like you. That's it. You gonna get turned down. So y'all not in control of everything. And I think a lot of women think they're in control of a lot of things that they're not. And the things that they can control, they don't even do it. They don't do that well. Yo, it's Eric TV. Thank you once again for the super chat. Says, yeah, hurt her feelings. They was nice to her. They was nice to her, but still let her know. But she was pissed. Yeah, just mad. Because she think that she's a 10. She do. Somebody done told her, girl, you look good, girl. Don't let nobody ever tell you you ain't a 10. Girl, you a 10, girl, and you better act like it. And so acting like it means you be nasty to people and thinking that they gonna still want you. And they done convince these women too that, oh, if you want a man, be mean to him. Okay, go out and be mean to him and see where that gets you, child. Oh my God. They're just dumb. I ain't gonna lie. Thank you for the super chat. It's Eric TV. Pharaoh says, Moby Well hunting for dick. Oh my God. Oh, no, you didn't. Oh, Lord Jesus. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Oh, Lord. You look at her, though. I mean, shit. And boy, Lord. I saw a couple of new Kendra G's. I'm going to have to come back with those. Baby, there's a couple of Kendra G ones that I have to share. Maybe in a video or probably in a video or live. I don't know. But baby, have y'all seen the latest Kendra? Baby, there's something on there. And I'm like, Thank you, Pharaoh. Pharaoh, a mess. But you know, and I'm not even the type of person to really harp on somebody's looks and they weight and stuff. I'm really not, to be honest. I hope y'all believe me. I'm really not in real life. I'm really not that type of person. I really don't, because I really don't like to, just harp on people just because. But when you see these people, like he said, if you're a nice person, if you have a good disposition, a good heart, if you're a sweetheart, people normally have grace for people who are nice and sweet. But when you come out with this nasty attitude, like somebody owe you something and like you just a shit and nobody can tell you nothing and you big as a house, you lose every single time. You're going to lose every single time because ain't nobody going to look at you the way you probably look, the way you look at yourself. Everybody ain't going to see you the way you see yourself. You can be 300, 400 pounds. Look at how facially challenged and all of that, and you coming out with an attitude, then people gonna call you out. But if you're a sweetheart, to me, I think it's more to a person than just their physical aesthetic. I think it's what's on the inside makes a big difference. I do agree with that. I think if you are a good person and you're nice and stuff, people tend to look over how you look on the surface because you can't control that. You can't control who decided to bring you here and what they look like and made you. You can't control that. You cannot control that. So this is why I think people like that need to be more. You need to be nice. You need to have a good heart and treat people right. But no, you find some of the most ill-shaped, big, unpleasing people facially are the ones who have the nastiest attitudes. The nastiest attitudes. And you come out here and thinking people supposed to cater to you and see your worth. No, they're going to see you for what it is and they're going to call you out a lot of times. AJ 2105, thank you for the super chat, says, you cooking today, DeeDee. Keep up the great work. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you for the support. I appreciate you. But yeah, I mean, it's just what it is, y'all. I just really be looking at it and I'm like, come on now. This is the stuff that I be saying in real life. Like, come on now. How many, you've come across somebody in real life who may not be the cutest, and I don't judge people by that, to be honest with you. I don't judge people on how they look. I judge you as the person that you are. If I approach you or we, in the public spaces and stuff, you go somewhere and people are so genuinely nice. That's how I see you. If you are a genuinely nice person with a good attitude, positive attitude, and speak nice, that you get a good reception from people like that. And you're endeared. I'm endeared towards those types of people. Like, oh my gosh, she was super nice. That's the people you want to give tips to and stuff when you're out, maybe at a restaurant, real nice and just good people. I like that because we need more of that. Instead of stuck up attitude. And this is why, honestly, too, I try to be who I really am on here and in real life. You know, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, because when I first came on to this part of the social media world, I was very timid. Pharaoh. And Pharaoh, I don't know if you remember, like in the beginning when I was doing the lives and stuff, Pharaoh, because Pharaoh been with me for Pharaoh been on here for pretty much most of the time. Pharaoh, if you remember, in the beginning when I started doing lives, I was very kind of timid. I was very timid. I was like, didn't want to say too much, didn't want to ruffle no feathers, really was like kind of a little nervous because I had never really done this type of content. You know, I've done content, but it was always the beauty realm. That was easy. But I was like a little cautious because I know I'm gonna get pushed back. And I was very timid, very kind of soft spoken, not want to say too much. And as you can see now, it's not the same because once you've been in this space for a while, it kind of brings out who you already are or it just changes you. And honestly, I think this part of me was always there, which is not bad, but I'm not timid to say what I want to say. You know what I'm saying? In public, but I'm not timid. I've never been timid. Well, I always been quiet, but amongst family and friends, I always just talk like this. But on the social media streets, I was holding back because I didn't really want to push back and I was like nervous and I want to ruffle any feathers or whatever. So it brings out who you are or it changes you. And so now, it's once you get used to doing it, you're not, and you get used to the backlash, you don't really care. But I'm still who I am. I still have I'm still conscious of what I'm saying, and I'm still partial to good people. I still like good people. People who are good in nature and people who are not just, you know what I'm saying, nasty and stuff like that. And what I want to say is this: I think that sometimes people think that if you are an attractive person, that if you have a cute face, like if you are a cute person, that you're automatically gonna be nasty and that you're gonna have an attitude, because people associate people who are attractive with being nasty and you know what I'm saying, thinking they're better than folks and stuff. And I never want to be associated with that because in the past that people assume that, oh my God, they assume, oh, I thought, because you know what, you attractive woman, but I was scared to approach or talk because you look like you was mean or you look like you had an attitude. No, I don't want to ever come off like that, like an attitude and no, I'm the most down to earth person that you can meet. I would never want to be associated with, because people do associate cuteness, if you kind of cute or whatever, with attitude and uppity. Like, nah, I don't even like people like that. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And I've said it before, I don't like people like, because you don't have to be like that. That is just a nasty way to be. Like, you should be able to talk to people and have a conversation with people in a normal way. Now, I'm not going to just be very talkative with everybody, because I have to get comfortable with you to be able to have really just open up and real talk to you. I have to get to know you, but just to be nice to people, I don't understand why that's so hard. And there's a lot of nasty people walking around here thinking they itch don't stink and that they're better than folks. And I don't like people like that. I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that. And I just think you don't have to be that way. But now you have people who just look like, they a slimy alligator running around here thinking that they're everything and being nasty to people and thinking that they're the best thing since sliced bread. You walk around here looking like Godzilla and then you got a nasty attitude. Come on now, stop. No, that don't make no sense to me. It never has. It never will. Yeah, big bags, slimy alligator skin, walking around here thinking that you the best thing ever. No, stop. Pharaoh's legendary temptation said, beauty only, skin deep. And it is. Oh my God. And they're right, Pharaoh. Thank you. I appreciate you, Pharaoh. That's true. Yeah, because you could be the most beautiful thing on the outside. And when you open your mouth and start talking, people just be like, oh, hell no. Nasty as ever. The things that come out of your mouth. So no, you're right. Beauty is only skin deep. If you're a nasty soul, if you're a nasty person and you don't know how to treat people, no, nobody want to deal with that. Project 0077 says you can't play hard to get when you're hard to want. I know that's right. Oh my God. I know the hell that's right. I know that's right, Project 007. I know that's right. Exactly. But that's how they be acting though. You want people to think that everybody wants you, that you're hard to get when nobody just don't want you. Because you look like alligator skin. Oh my God. Just saying. Yeah. It's crazy. Pharaoh says at Dee, and we wait a minute, wait a minute. And we always had your back with how nice and humble you were. Exactly. Yeah, because that's just who I am for real. Like I'm a human being. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna always get it right. I'm not gonna always, you know what I'm saying? I make mistakes. I'm human. We're all human. That's why I can understand people making mistakes. I can understand people, people not being perfect because we're not perfect. So we make mistakes. I might say something wrong. You know what I mean? If you catch it and you correct me, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm not gonna always get it right. I ain't gonna always get it right, and I'm aware of that. And I understand. So I have a little grace for people, and we all should have grace for each other. But you got a lot of people around here with hippopotamuses and stuff walking around here thinking they just the everything. And oh my God, and then when somebody tell you, oh, and when somebody let you have it, then they want to get mad. Oh, well, you being mean. No, you was mean first, honey. I ain't gonna be mean to you unless you be mean to me. If you throw me some shade, I know how to throw it back. Just don't get mad when you get what you asked for. Don't get mad when you get that same energy. Because everybody ain't gonna just sit back and just be nice, even though you're mean. And I do believe in giving you the same energy that you give. I'm not naive. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I ain't no ghetto ratchet chick, but I do come from the hood and I understand matching energies. So yeah, and you know what I'm saying? You don't let people just play on what y'all say. How y'all say that? You don't let people play on your top. Is that how you say that? Because I hope I'm saying that right now. I ain't gonna let nobody play with me. Period. And I got backup. I'm just saying. Oh my God! But that's what I'm saying. So you don't have to be. And that's another thing I learned in these spaces too. I remember. I think Trey had brought this up one time about how on these social media spaces as a woman, you have to be cautious and careful because if you are a nice person and you are, genuinely a nice person, but you're still human and you understand how to defend yourself, men will think, oh, she's masculine. She's masculine. Oh my God. She can't raise her voice or she can't have any pushback or she can't say anything. Oh, that means she's masculine. Okay. And it's like, okay. What does that mean? Like, okay, we all are a mixture of masculine energy and feminine. But what I'm saying is you got to have a little tough skin on these social media spaces. You can't let people just walk over you because if you let one do it, others will feel they can do it as well. And this is social media. This is not in the real world. I don't have that issue at all, but especially in the real world, I don't. But on here, people, if they think they can come at you, they will. If you don't defend yourself, you have to be able to defend yourself. That ain't got nothing to do with being masculine. It's just being who you are. My husband will defend, but he can't jump through the goddamn screen and beat the shit out of the person on the social media thing, right? So it don't apply in that sense. He can't, because if he would, he would. He can't jump through the screen and whoop your ass and then come back home. It can't happen like that. So no, you can't let people you got to have a little backbone when you're on here. It doesn't mean that you're a man. You know what I'm saying? No, that's why one of the reasons I don't go back and forth with men on here. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not what I'm going to do. Because I'm not going to even put my husband in that position to where he can't do nothing. I'm gonna go back and forth with men. I would just block you and that's it, keep it moving, because I'm not doing that. And that's one of the things I cannot do while I'm on here. Don't go back and forth with the man. If he got a problem, he argumented. I'm not, oh no, oh, excuse me, honey. I'm going to have to block you. Have a nice day. That's how we move over here. I'm not doing that. Yeah. So that's how that go. Liddell Jefferson, what's going on? How you been? Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. To DeeDee Reacts. Thank you so much. I appreciate the support. And thank you so much for being here, Liddell. I appreciate you, sir. Shout out to you. Yours, Eric TV says, can't play hard to get when it's hard to get in your clothes. Child. Thank you, yours, Eric TV. I appreciate you. Yeah, you got to have a little, what's that to do? I don't know what that means. Thank you for the super chat, yours, Eric TV. I appreciate you. Yeah, but it is what it is, y'all. But child, yeah, it's just a mess out in these streets. I really wish the best for everybody. I really wish that people who are out here looking for relationships, marriages, whatever, I really hope you can find what it is that you're looking for because it seems hard, but who knows? You know what I mean? There might be some light at the end of the tunnel somewhere. You might be able to find that if you're still looking, but I totally understand why men are moving the way they're moving. What I don't understand is why the women are thinking the way they're thinking. And I think, you know, for every situation there is, you know, there's something behind the way some women or people think. I think there is also, there's the experience aspect to all of this. There are certain experiences that people have went through that kind of shape their narrative and how they think. And I'm very aware of that. And I get that as well. Because, you know, there's a story behind all of us of why you think the way you think. You know, it could be based off your experiences. It could be based off of whatever. But I understand that there's sometimes reasonings behind why people move the way they move. And then other cases, it's not that. It's just based off of what you think and what you feel and what somebody told you. A lot of people don't even have the experiences that they're complaining about. They just think that that's just what it is based off of what they've been told. And I think that's a horrible way to go about anything, you know? So yeah, and I think you learn from your mistakes. Can you take advice and stuff from people? Sure. And apply it to your life? Yes. But you still have to go through the process in order to experience it and have a story on the outside, on the other end of it. You know what I mean? So yeah, so UMP means you gotta let know sometimes. You gotta let them know. Okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah, for real, you do. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it is what it is. But listen, you can only be who you are. Who you truly are is gonna come out. So if you got a potty mouth, if you got an attitude, it's gonna show, no matter how you try to hide it. You know what I'm saying? So it's best to just be who you are and let the chips fall where they may. And people gonna listen. People gonna scrutinize you no matter who you are, no matter how nice you are, no matter how mean they think you are. People are gonna scrutinize you either way. And if you don't live for people, you live for yourself. You let that fly. You don't care. Because if it doesn't have a direct effect on your life, who cares? And if you're in your house is in order and your house is good and everything is good with what you got going on, that's really all that matters. People are going to have their opinions, as they should. They're going to have their opinions of what they think one way or another. If it's good, they're going to criticize that. If it's not, they're going to criticize. So you can't live for people. You got to be who you are, be solid in who you are is all I'm saying. If that's who you truly are, be solid in that. And that's it. And the people that going to rock with you, going to rock with you. The people that's going to respect it. The people that aren't, they aren't. But that's just life. I get it. It doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? That's why I think I can understand people's perspectives. I don't hate. And it's another thing. There are, and I'm saying this and we're going to wrap this up. There are some people in these social media streets who want you to hate folks. They want you to look at people because y'all don't agree and be like, oh, you can't talk to that person. You can't, no, because they ain't on your level and all this. I'm like, what the hell? Is this kindergarten? We're grown people. You should be able to have cordial conversations with people you disagree with. This is not, if it's not personal, it shouldn't be an attack or feel like one. Like, come on, that don't make no sense. I know people who are best of friends and they don't agree, and they have lived totally different lives. There are people who are best friends, but she don't like certain things. She not married. The other one married. She don't want to be married. She likes certain, but they clicked in other ways. So, you know what I mean? They became friends in other ways, or certain experiences drew them together, but they don't have certain things in common at all. And they don't agree on everything from politics and that, but they still friends. Because, you know, when they go out, they put all that aside and they just have a good time. They don't focus on their personal lives. They focus on them having a good time. They like being around each other. They have, you know, they bond over that. So it's just, yeah, I just think it's you have to be a mature-minded person to understand differences and understand people. And people come from different walks of life. Everybody don't come from the same lifestyle and upbringing. So how you expect everybody to be on the same page all the time? You might share certain similarities in other areas you don't. But I don't have to agree with you on every single aspect of life to be cordial to you and have a conversation with you. Come on, you gotta grow up. And I think a lot of times people take this type of mentality into relationships. And then when you get in a relationship, you be stuck. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's just my 2 cents for the day, y'all. But that is it for the day. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. I appreciate you guys for being here, rocking with me for 2 hours, y'all. I appreciate y'all each and every day. Make sure you are continuously supporting the channel, you guys. Make sure you are watching the videos that are on the channel and supporting them. Make sure you hype the videos up. Hype the videos up as much as you can. That's the new thing on YouTube. And also make sure if you are in here and you haven't subscribed to the channel, to hit that subscribe button. It is free to subscribe. Like the video, the stream on your way out, you guys. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all weekend. Y'all be safe out here in these streets. Get some rest. Take your time. Enjoy yourself. Do whatever you need to do to live your best life, baby. And yeah, just keep thriving, keep living, keep doing you. Keep loving yourself. Pharaoh says, I love being a gentleman and a kind person, but I have an inner Stone Cold Steve Austin. I invite him to my cookouts. Oh my God. I know that's right, Pharaoh. Thank you, Pharaoh. Thank you for the super chat, Pharaoh. I appreciate you, bro. Y'all have a good rest of y'all weekend, y'all. Y'all go be safe. Have a, enjoy yourself. Do whatever you do and feel good. Until the next time, y'all, I appreciate y'all once again. Continue to just like the videos, hype them up, y'all. That helps to push the videos in our algorithm. If you go and just hit the like button, leave a comment just to let me know it's real. That definitely helps your girl out. All right. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everybody who gave super chats or Cash App. Thank you so much. Everybody who liked the stream, I appreciate you for that. Y'all be safe. Take care. And I will see y'all in the next one. Mwah. Later.
Ooh, yeah, she's a little bit wild, little sad, I smile. Gold hoops in my t-shirt, still turn levy at my world. Yeah, she's talking fast, hands fly. Got a temper, got pride. She'll call me out right there in the car and kiss me like a movie star. Yeah. City got mood, she's like that. Storm in her eyes and she's on my lap. Tell me stop staring. I can't.
Girly girl, that's my girly girl.
She be doing the most, I'm addicted to her. From her curls down to her curves. It's my girlie, my whole wide world. If love is a word, she's the meaning of hers. That's my girlie, girlie girl. She'll be late to the plans, still I reach for her hand. Got a lipstick on my collar and my face. Then she fussing and laughing same day. She taught love like a fight, every wrong, every right. When she's soft, man, I swear I can't breathe. When she's mad, I ain't trying to leave. Every got moves and she swear she be driving me crazy. And back till we stop playing. I can't. Girly girl, I swear, girly girl. She be doing the most, I'm addicted to her. From her curls down to her curves. Yeah, it's my girlie girl, my whole wide world. If love is a word, she's the meaning I heard. That's my girlie girl. She black girl crazy, I love it. Got that fire, I run to it. Missy attitude with the softest heart. All that drama still my favorite part. You be holding her eyes, but she holds me tight. Seeing everything wrong, still a hit just right. If I ever got a face when the lights go dark, yes, her, yes, her, yes, her. She be doing the most, I'm addicted to her. From her curls down to her curves. Yeah, that's my girlie girl. Whose love is words is the meaning I heard.